Builder gel in a bottle versus builder gel in a jar. Today we are putting them to the test. We are doing them both on my dominant hand. So I'm going to be using my non-dominant hand to do the builder gel overlays on my dominant hand. And this video took me a little bit of time to do because I had to wait until, some of my nails grew out. I could do my dominant hand with both builder gel in a bottle and builder gel in a jar. So I'm gonna give you my honest opinions on which I think is easier, especially if you're a beginner, and just share a bunch of my thoughts because I've been doing builder gel overlays now for like 3.5, almost 4 years. And my non-dominant hand still struggles with applying builder gel overlays to my dominant hand. So we're gonna jump right in. These are my builder gel nails the other week before I did the fill, and per usual, they were looking pretty crusty. I dip over top of my builder gel, so often what happens is, you see people, a lot of nail influencers, like nicely popping off their dip manis or whatever kind of manis they have over top of their builder gel. Do I do that? Definitely not. I tend to, like, in the car, yank them off quick. So mine look a bit crustier and way less aesthetically pleasing, but I like to keep it real here. I go in first with my Pana Course Safety Bit, and this is going to remove the bulk of my builder gel. I wanted to do for this video a really good showing of like getting the builder gel off my nails as best as I could because I don't e-file it all off. So I e-filed it down to like a really thin layer. Both of the times I did my builder gel fill, I got a majority of the builder gel off with that coarse safety bit. And then I like to go in with a 240 sanding band. This just helps to like file down any lumps and bumps. And I like to file the new growth with it. It's the only bit I use on my natural nails. Then I use this really neat little cuticle bit from Macart that I absolutely love, and it helps get any of the cuticle that's stuck to my nail plate off that. Now I can go in and do the builder gel overlay. So the first one that we're going to do is the builder gel in a jar. This part of the builder gel overlay is the same whether I'm using the bottle or the jar. I go one hand at a time. So I dehydrate 5 nails, and then after I do dehydrator thumb to pinky, then I go in with my primer thumb to pinky as well. And I do 2 layers of that. So I'll do thumb to pinky 1 layer and then thumb to pinky for the second layer. When you're doing primer, you want to make sure that you etch it into your nails. That just means like scrub it in there. You don't want to put so much primer on that it's flooding into your cuticles because too much primer can actually cause lifting too, which I had no idea when I first started. I just was like kind of blindly jumping into a lot of things and like watching videos as I was learning. So that was something that I made sure that I don't do anymore. Now I'm going to show you how I do a slip layer. So when you're doing builder gel in a jar and you're doing a slip layer, you want to make sure that you don't get too much on your brush or else you'll end up flooding your cuticles. And that's the same with the bottle, but I've noticed for me, with the jar, I tend to be a bit more heavy-handed with how much I put onto the brush when I'm using my non-dominant hand. So you can kind of see like I'm holding the brush awkwardly with my left hand because I'm not left-handed. I've learned how to apply dip with my left hand onto my right hand, but I still struggle with getting that builder gel to like float nicely. And I did the slip layer, and now I'm working on the bead of builder gel, but you can see it's a little bit uneven just because, it's my left hand, okay? My left hand is still struggling because it's not my dominant hand. And it's funny that even now, after doing my nails for almost 5 years, nails are like the only thing I can do with my left hand. It's not like I can do other things with my left hand just because I use them for nails. So I like to go in with a thin nail art brush and really fine tune where my builder gel is, especially when I'm using my non-dominant hand. I tend to either flood back towards my cuticles or flood at the tip with the builder gel. So that thin nail art brush really helps to put the builder gel in the right areas so that I don't have to do as much buffing and shaping and filing at the end of when I'm done my mani. I'm so glad that last year I saw how to do the slip layer and how to use a thin nail art brush for your builder gel because my builder gel fills take me so much less time than they used to. They used to take me quite a few hours, and now I've definitely gotten the process down a bit. It still probably takes me an hour and a half, but I'm okay with that. I actually split my nail nights up, so I'll do my builder gel, do the fill one night, and then I do manis different night. That really helps me to not have to sit down at one time and do all of my builder gel and then my dip mani. So if you're struggling with figuring out how to have time for both, you can do your builder gel and then a couple days later, then do your dip mani or your gel mani, whatever you're going to be wearing. Because my left hand struggles with doing builder gel overlays as compared to my right hand, I really try to make sure that I float the builder gel and get a nice application from the start. So it sometimes gets a little bit wonky, like you saw on my thumb. The application just wasn't great. It looked a little uneven, and that's why I had to go back through with the thin nail art brush. But I really try to be more aware on my left hand, or when I'm using my left hand to do the builder gel overlays on my right hand, I really try to be more aware of where I'm placing the builder gel. And that's something that helps overall too. I've noticed the big difference when I first started doing builder gel overlays and now doing them, a couple years later. I just kind of like stuck the builder gel on. I wasn't as much concerned about, how thick the layers were, about making sure it was in the right place. And as time goes on, I focus more and more on that so that the builder gel mani, one, takes less, and two, then I don't need to do so much filing, shaping, and buffing. Something that I struggle with using my left hand to do the builder gel overlay on my right, especially when I'm using builder gel in a jar, is getting the builder gel close to my cuticles and not flooding them. So I tend to either flood the cuticles when I'm using my left hand on my right hand, or I don't get enough builder gel and there's like no builder gel on the sides of my nails. So that's something I'm still working on. And I notice with the jar, it's a little bit harder. You'd think because you have a smaller brush, it'd be easier, but I tend to like accidentally wipe off the sides of my nails when I'm using the small builder gel brush versus the brush that comes in the builder gel in a bottle. When I'm applying a builder gel overlay on my pinky, I notice I tend to be heavy-handed, so I really try to be aware of not putting so much on my pinky. I think it's because that fingernail is so much smaller than all my other nails. All my other nails are really huge, especially my thumb. It literally needs like double the amount of builder gel as my pinky just to get to the same level of thickness. So just be aware when you're applying your builder gel, you never want to make your layers super thick. Thick layers of builder gel are not going to fully cure, and you definitely don't want to leave uncured gel on your nails. So gel could look cured from the top, and then when you e-file into it, it's not actually fully cured. There's a whole bunch of videos about lamps and nail safety from the Nail Hub. I will make sure I link those in the description too. I basically just follow what the professionals say, and they're the ones who know like what products to use and things like that, what lamps to use. Now we're going to do the buffing and shaping. I'm going to show you how I get it nice and smooth. I either take a flexible file or a buffing block to do all the filing and shaping. This just is a great way for me to wear my nails. I like to wear the builder gel buffed really smooth and not do any top coat over it. I know some people absolutely love doing top coat over their builder gel because they like that better for using peel base in between the builder gel and the dip. For me, because I tend to take my dip powder nails off so wildly, even though I have peel base underneath, I just like yank them off, which you definitely shouldn't do. Once in a while I do it nice, but since I do that, it's better for me just to have nails that have been buffed super smooth. Plus there's something about the builder gel buffed super smooth that I just absolutely love. And now I'm going to show you guys how to do builder gel in a bottle using my left hand, my non-dominant hand, to do the builder gel overlay on my right hand, the dominant hand. Okay, so you can see right off from the start, I'm able to apply my slip layer a little bit easier. And the reason why is because in the bottle, you're already getting some of the builder gel on it. As soon as you put your brush in there, you're not having to scoop any out like you are on the jar. So I'm able to get my slip layers on pretty quickly and then do my bead. I would say the thing that I struggle with using builder gel in a bottle, and this actually goes for either hand, is getting enough builder gel on the brush to do the bead that I want to float down. So that's something that is a little bit harder because you can't see how much gel you're pulling out. So sometimes I scoop too much, sometimes I don't scoop enough. And that's just for that second bead. So the slip layer is the first layer that goes down on your nails. You don't cure it. And then that second layer is the bead that you want to do and float it down your nail. And the slip layer should be like literally so thin. You don't want it to really be taking up any space, because then the bead layer that you put down and float down over top of the slip layer, since it's uncured, that's going to be where you get your apex going, and then also where you get the little bit of thickness. You don't ever want to make your layers super thick for a builder gel, then they're not going to cure like we talked about before. So I'm really careful regardless of whether I'm using my builder gel in a jar or builder gel in a bottle. Now I'm moving pretty quickly through, so I get to my pointer finger and I'm able to get that bead on really nicely. The only time I struggle with builder gel in a bottle with getting a big enough bead is when I do my thumbnail, because my thumb is so huge. It's like 2 times the size of all my other nails. I actually just tried to find full covers for my thumbnail, and the only ones that truly fit my thumb without having to like squish them on are the Apres triple zeros. So I'm gonna do some videos with using those too, but for this one we are just doing the straight builder gel overlay. There was a little technique that I saw somebody do where after they flip their nail over to start building the apex naturally, they tap their hand a couple times. I don't know if it actually made a difference in my mani, but I thought like, okay, it's not gonna hurt because you're just tapping your nail when it's flipped upside down to really, push that builder gel to self level and build your apex. I know that I don't quite sound like my normal peppy self, but I've been dealing with some health issues that I'll talk to you all about in another video, and I haven't been feeling as good as I would like, so I definitely feel like my voice sounds like really different. I don't know. You tell me, do I sound that different? Maybe I don't. Maybe this is actually what I sound like all the time. So anyways, I finished working on my pinky, and anytime I do one finger, I make sure I flash cure it for at least 5 to 10 seconds before moving to the next nail. That is key no matter what kind of builder gel you're using, no matter what kind of gel you're using. You want to flash cure each nail for a couple seconds so that your gel doesn't move around. Maybe professional nail techs can do like 2 or 3 nails at a time and not have to cure, but I'm not a professional. I'm a DIYer at home like all of you. So for me, it really helps, especially doing any kind of overlay, to flash cure that nail so the gel doesn't move around. Then I do a full cure of all my nails, making sure that I cure my thumb separately, because you tend to hold your thumb at a really like weird wonky angle, and when you don't fully cure it, you're leaving uncured gel in your hands, right? So it is worth the extra minute to cure your thumb separately. Then I bust out my isopropyl alcohol and my buffing block so I can buff my nails really nice and smooth. You guys just watched me do both hands, and I know you can tell, and I'll say it here too, you can tell that my left hand is definitely more awkward doing builder gel than my right, since I'm right-handed. And it is, for me, it's harder to use builder gel in a jar with my left hand than builder gel in a bottle. Now, it doesn't mean that I stop using builder gel in a jar with my left hand. I actually love using builder gel in a jar. I don't know why. Even though it's a little bit harder with my left hand, I still really like doing it. So when it comes to what you're going to decide that you want to do and what you want to pick, for me, the builder gel in a bottle, I know when I have less time, using builder gel in a bottle is always my go-to. And when I have a little bit more time to do my nails, then I can use builder gel in a jar, because I know it takes me a little longer to really get the builder gel to the place I want. If you're still struggling with builder gel overlays and you need more help, I've got you. I've got 2 ways you can do it. You can check out the first pinned comment that has a link to my Builder Gel 101, the ultimate guide to applying builder gel overlays at home. It's 48 pages of everything you need to know. And if you want more videos, then check out the next one on builder gel overlays. Thanks for joining me.